Welcome everybody to the 2020 Audi A6 Allroad. As you probably know, if you're living in North America, wagons are somewhat of a rare thing here because the buying public doesn't really care for them. As a car enthusiast, a car journalist, of course, I'm going to say that the wagons are the best cars in the world. That's the built-in bias that all of us have, but they just don't sell. But with this outbackerization that we've seen with more than a few models on the market today, you take a regular estate car, lift it up a couple of inches, put some body cladding on it, then maybe it will sell. But after quite a few years of not being available in North America, the Allroad has returned for what could be its last chance at life, and see really if this is the car for anybody or nobody. To make an A6 Allroad, obviously you start with the Avant, the wagon platform with the Audi A6, but then to turn it into what you see in front of me, first of all, you'll get a standard ride height that's 1.2 inches taller than a regular A6. You'll have the extended side sills, the plastic body cladding, and the roof rails included. Comparing the top trim Technic between the A6 sedan and the Allroad, you're paying a $6,300 premium for the wagon. Just like the A4 Allroad, the plastic that you see around the wheel wells and a couple other spots around the car can be color matched for the price of $1,000 if you want to try and hide the fact that this is an Allroad a little bit more to the outside world. But as standard, and I find this quite interesting, is that the plastic cladding around the wheel wells is painted black, whereas so many other vehicles that I've tested out that either lifted wagons or small crossovers that have that cladding are always a flat black plastic. And in my mind, the flat black plastic will be a little more tolerable to roads such as this. It will be able to absorb the rocks that might come and hit the sides, and if you scratch it, isn't as big of a deal. But with this as painted, it does seem like it could be a big issue. And I really think the only way you're going to be able to find that out for yourself is if you're an owner of this vehicle. You spend years with it, driving up and down the road and seeing just how well that lasts. So that's something quite important to talk about. But of course, if you body match color it, then it's paint just like the rest of the car's paint, I suppose. Now, the wagon's going to offer two very distinctive benefits over a regular A6 sedan. First, obviously, is that you have a much larger boot space that's a lot more accommodable for tall items. If you ever needed to move your closet or a mattress, something like that, this car will be better suited for that task. And it's a really cool feature that when you lift the tailgate, it is motorized. You'll see that the security cover is motorized as well. And built into that security cover is a divider that could separate the cabin from the boot space entirely. You'll probably use it if you have a big dog so they don't slobber all over your lovely leather. And it's an incredibly light security cover, so it makes it easy to get in and out of the car. Problem is, though, is that you can't store it underneath the false floor. There isn't really any storage underneath there, as you do have a space saver spare wheel. The other benefit to a wagon is that the rear seats with the flat roof have a little more headroom. With the regular A6 sedan, even though I fit in it, I was quite tight in the rear. I couldn't put my head up against the headrest. Different story back here though. I can definitely do that. There is the 4-zone climate control as standard, heated seats back there. Folding down the armrest, you'll have a little more storage and some cup holders. Each seat can be lowered independently, so if you need to carry your skis with 3 of your tall friends, this could be an absolutely perfect car for those purposes. Of course, with the standard roof rails, it makes it easier to mount stuff up there as opposed to an A6 sedan. With the exception of the all-road and off-road modes, you're not going to notice anything different in here than what you will over a regular A6. Here we've got the aluminium mesh inlay, which is quite different to all of the woods or the carbon fibers that I've seen in a lot of recent Audis, but built as solid as a brick. Beautiful materials throughout. I have the upgraded seat package here, so we've got heated, cooled and massaging front seats with beautiful leather and stitching. Here you've got a little bit of Alcantara inserts in the door cards. There isn't too much storage up front here in the A6. If you want to find out my opinions towards the screens and the user interface, go and check out my other Audi reviews reviews because I've talked about them extensively there. So let's now finally hit the road and see what this all-road is like in any given circumstance. So currently with the all-road, there's only one engine choice, the 55 TFSI, which is a 3-litre turbocharged mild hybrid V6. It produces 355 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, mated with a 7-speed automatic transmission and the Ultra Quattro all-wheel drive system. And the Ultra technology is creating a more efficient all-wheel drive system. So when you're going on the highway or in any situation where you really don't need all-wheel drive, it can totally cut off the power sent to the rear wheels. With this air suspension system, it makes every piece of paved road feel like freshly poured tarmac. It's quite astounding. Driving out on the highway makes it feel like you've been sat in one spot for an hour. That's how steady and calm it is. There's a high possibility that there will be a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine showing up in the all-road in the next year or two. When I first tested out the A6 sedan, when it came out in 2019, that only had the 55 TFSI that I've already mentioned, but then a year following they introduced a 4-cylinder. So maybe it will be the exact same story with this. In a year's time, second model year, it will have another engine option available. With the additional ride height, yes, you can sense there's a little more brake dive, a little more suspension heave when you take off, and a touch more roll in the corners, but the Audi A6 as it wasn't really built to be the most engaging driver's car in this space. Look for a S6 or an RS6 when those come to market. So the all-road feels very much the same to the regular A6 in that respect. So that wraps up all of my thoughts, and this is my final conclusion for the A6 all-road. It really might be the perfect vehicle. Tons of luxury and technology that makes it really feel like you're getting every penny out of its as listed price. It has more than enough off-road credibility that I could probably see it going down more serious roads than this, and I don't think it compromises itself in any way when driving on the regular road. The A6 all-road is without a doubt a segment leader. It certainly lacks the sporting credential that if you want to have a car that can really do everything, that's what the A6 is lacking primarily. With absolutely no doubt in my mind, this is a fully fleshed out vehicle, and I hope that they keep it on for a few more years. Hopefully it'll be successful enough to warrant a next generation whenever the next generation A6 comes along. This car is that good. So that's been everything from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to watching this video. If you don't mind liking and sharing and subscribing, all of that good stuff really helps me out a lot. Thanks again. Hope to see you on the channel again soon.